Yes, people, what's good? We're here. Another stream, man. Thanks for everyone locking in. People that come over from flawless as well. Flawless? Do you know what I mean? Big up Stephanie as well. Put that comment straight up. Really appreciate your subscription. Today, obviously, my channel is not just about football. We're going to be talking boxing as well. Got a big card this weekend in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The Day of Reckoning. Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallin. Deontay Wilder versus Joseph Parker, and many, many other fights on the card. I'm going to be joined shortly by my friend Dani, who is from a channel called Fight Fan TV. Check them out. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to put the link. Give me a second. I'm going to put the link in the. I'm going to pin it to the chat so you guys can check this out. He's got his own boxing podcast. Absolutely brilliant, man. And he's got some really good connections in the scene. So Dani is somebody that you definitely want to subscribe to, and it's good content, man. Let me just put this in. See if I can pin this up. Hopefully, no, not let me do it there. I'll put it in the description below once I figure out how to do that. But still, I'm new to this, guys. So just bear with me in it. No, that's not it. But yeah, hope everyone's good. While you're coming in, smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to Unleashed Sports. We've got a lot of content coming. And just as we speak, Dani enters. There we go. I'm bigging you up and saying that the guys need to subscribe to you. Dani, how are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm all good, and yourself?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I've just been on my brethren's stream for about an hour. Some of the guys have come over from there. They've raided my stream. Just like you can see Stephanie here, man. But yeah, man, this is more my bag, innit? Like football's my bag, but also boxing's like a big love for all of us, man. So want to be breaking down that Day of Reckoning card, man. But first of all, why should people subscribe to Fight Fan TV, man? You got some wicked content and podcasts going on.
Yeah, the reason why you should subscribe to Fight Fan TV Live is because we bring you the best content. We bring something unique. We've got a podcast called the Neutral Corner Podcast, where we sit down in intimate settings, have a more relaxed vibe and settings with fighters, trainers, people within the combat industry, within boxing, MMA, combat sports, and give a real in-depth, detailed, sort of interview conversation style things, sort of get so you can get to know more about the person behind, just the fighting, and also, a lot of the normal media, you probably only get 5 or 10 minutes with them. Well, this one you can get more of a detailed insight into them, and yeah, enough jokes, enough banter, as well as a lot of information and a lot of informative stuff. Also, we do live watch alongs as well for fights, where you can get commentary from myself, Leon. Sometimes I have guests on as well, who friends and stuff like that, who come on, and we do talk about the fights before, after, while the fight's going on, commentary. Because leave that, please. That's and then we'd also go to some shows every now and again, do some media there. Been out, to various countries like Poland and stuff like that, and so we cover a lot. So yeah, be sure to subscribe and you will enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%, man. Just tweaking this around and that, yeah. Here we go, man. Saeed's in the cup, man. Big Saeed. He's made a lot of things happen for him, man. Yo, big up Saeed. Yeah. Miller's joke, man. We're going to delve into the full card, man. But Miller's kind of just on that, yeah. While Danny's obviously sorting out, you know how it is, people. We've got to juggle families and we've got life and all that sort of thing. And Danny's a busy guy, man. Do you know what I mean? Jarrell Miller, for me, has been stealing the show this week, man. He knows how to market himself, innit? Do you know what I mean? I don't know what you think about Miller, Danny.
Yeah, no, he is definitely great for boxing. Sorry about that, guys. My son, he's not well. Winter illness.
I hope he gets well soon, man. Bless him.
Yeah. Little flu and that. But yeah, no, Jarrell Miller, he's been on fire, man. From even the press conference like about a month or so ago. Obviously, he said that he's in fight mode now. He said he could have gone and roasted a bag of people, but he kept it tame today. Daniel Dubois. I think he had a good little innings. Someone gave him a couple little sermon scripts or something. But Jarrell's been good. I see he dissed one of the promoters. I'm not sure if he was talking about either Shelley Finkel or Dimitri Salita, where he said, because he bigged up Eddie and said, oh yeah, it was great to, he pays well and he pays on time, unlike this piece of S right next to me or whatever. So I don't, but it panned out, so I couldn't see who he was talking about. But so one of them obviously must have been a bit rattled by that. But yeah, man, he means business. He's looking big, you know, the French Mastiff size head and neck. You know, the face off was the face off was funny as well. I don't know if you saw the face off where he mean-mugged Daniel, and then Daniel tried to do this thing, but he did this weird thing with his mouth where he went, and then he started going on the tiptoes, and it was awkward. But yeah, man, I wish Daniel the best. But he's got a huge task physically in front of him.
Yeah, I think with Daniel, man, he's an odd character, any Danny. Do you know what I mean? So he's I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think with Dubois, man. He's I don't know. What do you think? Like he's trying to get involved with all the antics and that sort of thing, but he's not. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not him.
It's not him.
Nah, it's not him. He's a man. I don't think he got into confrontations on the estate or in the playground back in the day. Do you know what I mean? I could see someone like Don Charles or someone in the team have tried to give him a few lyrics to say to try and fight back, because, you know, Frank Warren was like, don't let him do this here. Come on, Daniel. So it's like they're trying to get him riled up to say something back. But you can see Jarrell Miller, he's from Brooklyn, you know, cussing matches is just natural to him. So with Daniel, it's not, innit? The trash talking, he's just a man who just knows how to go to boxing, goes home, goes boxing, knows how to fight a bit, but all that, you know, all that head mind games and road antics, that's not really him, innit? That's more of a Jarrell Miller, New Yorker thing, innit? You know what I mean? Or man from over here, but from, you know, the blocks and that. So yeah.
Yeah, Daniel was, yeah. We'll leave it there. But Danny, I mean, the daddy comment today, I've just seen it, is yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, it's a bit mad still. You know, that he's really happy with the joke as well, and you're just there like.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you see, that's what I mean. If you was from like, you know, South London, as you know, or even, you know, Nottingham, Shottingham, you know what I mean? You'd have better lyrics. Like, you got to remember, like, people keep talking about, oh yeah, he's been busted for Roy. It's like, yeah, that one's a bit dry now. Yeah, but what he should have said, he should have reminded Jarrell Miller, like, especially when say he said the daddy thing, Jarrell Miller goes, oh yeah, ABC 1 2 3, Daniel Dubois just lost his virginity. What I would have come back with is like, yeah, and I stay hard. I don't need performance enhancements. I don't need drugs to get out. Because remember, he took a drug for what was it? It was erectile dysfunction.
Miller did.
Yes, he got busted for an illegal drug, but it was a one which is used for like sexual boosting libido. Like, so he said he took it for an erectile dysfunction purpose. He said he was prescribed by the doctor. So I would have been all over that. Like, you got to challenge his manhood on that. Like, you can't get it up, sunshine. Like, so yeah. He should have been onto him for that. But he's obviously not. He's not paying attention. But even his team, they should have been looking into this and feeding him this information. This is what your team's there for, not just to hold the pad and do a couple of drills and just say, go on, get out there and fight. You've got to know, if a man like Daniel Dubois, you know, he's not really inept to this trash talking and quick wit naturally. Obviously, you can see the daddy thing. Someone's told him to say that. So you should have armed him with more ammunition against Jarrell Miller. You've got to find out things about the guy and get into his head. Do you know what I mean? Johnny Nelson talks about that, how he was able to get into Carl Thompson's head and stuff like that before his fight back in the day with him. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you got to know these things. But
yeah, Danny would have cooked him. Danny would have cooked him, man.
Yeah, I would have. I'd have been all over him. Someone like Broner would have been onto him as well. Like if he was the same weight.
Yeah, trust me, Broner don't play, man. Do you know what I mean? Broner don't play. Broner don't play. We all know Broner don't play on that. That's funny. Yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I think what's the fight that before we break down the full thing, what's the one that you're looking forward to the most on that? A lot of people, as time's going on, they're starting to build this Parker and Wilder fight. And you know what? Let me ask you the question that the media have been asking the fighters. What do you think is a more... Let's start with challenging and then a more exciting fight. Is it the AJ fight or is it the Wilder fight for you?
The more challenging fight, I think, is the Wilder fight, because you're talking about two former world champions. Parker has had, 3 fights already this year, or 4 fights? This is his 4th fight this year. He fought Jack Massey, done 10 rounds there. He knocked out the next guy in 1 round, and then he took out Sean Keane in about 3 rounds. So that's 14 rounds he's done already this year.
Do you rate the opposition, or do you think it's a gigantic leap to where Wilder is? Like, do you think that's a good performance against Keane? Is it just beating whoever's in front of you, or you're like, you don't look into it?
It's not Wilder's level, but it's about activity. Whereas Wilder's only done 1 round in about 3 years, and Joseph Parker's done 14 this year alone. Had 3 fights. Do you know what I mean? He's been in constant training camps. He fought literally 2 months ago. So his oil he's oiled up. The engine's oiled up, and he's looking in great shape. And he's active at the end of the day. And you got to remember, if you look at it, 2 former world champions, okay, and then you look at their best wins. So Wilder's best win is Luis Ortiz. Parker's best win is So Wilder's best win is an unbeaten Luis Ortiz. Parker's best win is an unbeaten Andy Ruiz. Right? So, and then we both know what happened when Ruiz fought Ortiz. Ruiz won. So and Ruiz is also a former unified world champion. So Ruiz is the better win on paper out of the 2. So and Parker's also got Carlos Takam in there before Anthony Joshua had beat him.
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Do you think? Do you think Parker won that, Ruiz? Some people say that he didn't.
It could have gone either way. It was a good combination punch. It could have gone either way. He also beat an unbeaten Hughie Fury as well.
Yes.
He knows his way around the ring. So, yeah, I mean, and he's been in there with Dillian Whyte. He's dropped Dillian Whyte in the last round, so it shows he can put on a late onslaught, even though he lost on points. Beat Chisora twice. He's been in there with Joe Joyce. And remember, he got beat by Joe Joyce because that was more of a war of nutrition rather than Joe Joyce actually proper knocking him out with power, because remember, Parker was able to take AJ's power fine. It was just obviously the pace of the fight where Parker threw the kitchen sink and he just couldn't move the juggernaut. So in the end, he got worn out and beaten there. But Wilder, we know, is going to be the biggest puncher he's gone in there with. So that will be interesting. But it'll be interesting to see how Wilder looks now in activity. He's 38 years of age now.
Wow. You know what I mean? He's aged quickly, man. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Time waits for no man. So, it's going to be interesting. I think if Parker's able to get on the inside and start working the hooks and the uppercuts, as we saw when in the 3rd fight with Fury dropped Wilder with the uppercut in the 3rd round. So he's susceptible to some of them uppercuts. And, sometimes when he lunges in, with the 1-2, he can get caught, like when Luis Ortiz clipped him in the 1st fight and had him going. So Wilder has to be careful, but he does a thing of leaning back as well a lot.
Yeah, he does when he comes out.
It'll probably work against Parker because Parker's shorter than him with a shorter reach, whereas Fury was taller and longer reach, so was able to always sort of catch him as he leans back. But the odds favourite is Wilder's going to land that straight right hand at some point, or the stiff 1-2. And it seems he's putting a few nifty moves together, like he was working the body well in the last Fury fight. But we know once he drops the right hand, it's going to be how Joseph Parker.
What do you think about them pad work we've seen with? I know it's pad work, it's just pad work, but do you feel like, because at his age, you can't add that much to your game, but do you feel like he's got that athletic ability as well, like his physique and the way he moves? He's an athlete, isn't he? So do you think, because him and Malik, I'm sure they were doing combinations and they were sort of slip. I've seen a bit of pad work like that. Do you look into that, or do you feel like he's going to revert back to type because he's had 1 round in 2 years?
No, he will start off using some of those new moves, which Malik's been teaching him, I feel. But if the going does get tough, then he is going to resort back to, that whole standing off.
Yeah.
Trying to line him up.
He's trying to walk you onto it, basically, isn't he?
Trying to walk you on. But I think he will try and use some boxing skills at first. And he's, as you said, he's got that athletic sort of build and ability where he's shaped like a basketball player, like a LeBron James type thing. So he's able to spring in and out of his feet quite well, in and out of range. And we know Parker, he did get dropped by Chisora in the 1st round in their 1st fight. So
and Dillian as well.
Yeah, and Dillian as well. So he can go over, but he seems to always get back up, apart from when he was worn out by Joyce. So this is going to be interesting. I think, but there's so many keys to victory for Joseph Parker that this one's a real risky one. I have this one as like 60-40 to Wilder.
Wilder? Do you? Okay, so you put it like okay.
Yeah.
So is that down to? Well, I'll ask you another question on Joe. Is the bodywork key? Because Wilder's not got a big frame to kind of tire him out and take the speed and stuff away from him. I know he's not a volume puncher, but the kind of you might be able to telegraph the right hand a bit better if he's a bit slower, or do you think it's just Parker just pop move? What do you think the keys to victory are?
I think he's got to get into mid range and use fast combinations, because I don't think so far I haven't seen anybody use body attacks really to slow down Wilder. It was really Fury leaning on Wilder,
with the frame
like
size,
50-pound weight advantage and dragging him around, which wore Wilder out. I don't think the body attack, because he's in good condition. Do you know what I mean? His midsection looks quite toned, so you can see he does his sit-ups in his medicine ball. Do you know what I mean? So,
100%. Yeah. And I think as well, he's fought bigger guys than him his whole career, like physically wider, more body mass guys, and I think he's not struggled with them. So I would agree. But so are you putting that down to, is that the one you're looking forward to the most, that fight?
Well, I'm looking forward to Miller and Dubois the most. But out of the two main events, I would say.
How did I know you were going to say that? How did I know you was going to say that? Yeah.
But I think the upset on the card that I can see happening, which no one's really talking about, is I see Ajit Kabayel beating Makhmudov.
Okay.
Yeah. I see him beating him on points. The reason being, Makhmudov, he's only fought stationary targets so far, guys who don't know how to move, guys who just try to walk at him, which is silly with a man so big and strong. So Ajit Kabayel is a good boxer. He's from Germany, but Turkish and Kurdish sort of background.
He's got Kurdish background.
Yeah, two-time European champion. Didn't lose the belt in the ring. Remember, he gave up the belt because he was due to fight Tyson Fury. But Fury bailed out. That was
on the combat run, wasn't it? I think he'd beat Seferi and Schwartz, and I think he was the next one, or was it before Schwartz? It was around that time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was meant to be around them times, but he chose one of them softer touches. So yeah, he's a good boxer, and Makhmudov, he can be outboxed in the amateurs. He got beat by Junior Farr in the amateurs, and all.
Oh, did he? Didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Junior Farr beat him in the amateurs. Clement Russo, the Italian.
So what you're saying, a little bit of movement, and he struggles a bit more. Like obviously, he's developed as a pro, but
yeah, a bit of movement and boxing skills, some footwork, and you will cause him some trouble, because so far he likes you guys. He's been fighting guys who have been who are shorter, so they're walking into him, and they're literally just walking into the shots. And then once they get hit, they go into survival. Oh, they just crumble. So they don't really know how to box properly. Whereas Kabayel knows how to box. He unbeaten, two-time European champion. This is European level he's going in at. Exactly. This is quite a big jump. It's not like he's even won a local national title or something. He's going straight into European championship level. So yeah, this is a proper fight, and I see Kabayel causing the upset in this. So look out for that one.
And you know what, people? When Danny says look out for that one, and he says they're causing an upset, he's rarely wrong. I'll give you that. He's rarely wrong. So people, make sure you subscribe to Fight Fan TV. And Danny, trust me, you could just by watching Danny, you will gain the knowledge. You know what I mean? I remember the first time I'd seen you, Danny, on an IFL interview, and I'd seen you with your cousin Craig. And I remember Craig kind of moved to the camera and he said, "Put my cousin in." And I heard the way that he spoke, and I thought, this guy knows boxing. Do you know what I mean? So people, if you're betting, lock into Fight Fan TV. Maybe drop Danny a message before you put your bet on as well, because he might be able to bring you through. And sort him out if you win as well. Sort him out some change if you win. All right, cool. So before we run through the card, what do you think of the? I'm dying to hear what you think of the AJ and the Wallin fight. I mean, me personally, the casual fans will just say, "Oh yeah." They'll either be AJ's wrote off, he's not the same guy as before, or I don't know this Wallin guy will knock him over. We both know how good Wallin's good. We both know he's good. I mean, you don't go out to Russia and beat Gassiev. You just don't do that. You went to Turkey, sorry, but you don't go over to pretty much Gassiev's backyard and beat him. What do you make of that fight? Do you think it's quite a tricky fight for Joshua, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tricky fight for a few reasons. You know, tricky one, he has to go back into the face the demons or fighting a European southpaw again.
He's a southpaw.
Yeah, albeit Wallin's taller, not as fast and slick as Usyk, but still is a southpaw whose game plan is to be a boxer. He's not a knockout merchant. Since Fury, he's had 6 straight wins. He beat Kufman. He beat Dominic Brazil on points, and remember, he's the only person to actually outpoint Dominic Brazil. Everyone, well, you're talking about Joshua and Wilder's the only other guys to beat Brazil. AJ beat him by using brute force. Wilder beat him by using just an explosive power shot on the the 1-2. Whereas Otto Wallin, he beat him outboxing him using actual boxing skills. He beat Gasayev, which I thought Gasayev was actually going to knock him out, actually. So I got that one wrong. And he went out to Turkey and beat him. So this guy, he's a boxer. And we know AJ struggles with boxers. If you're trying to have a crash bang wallop and try and take Joshua out, he's up for all that. Do you know what I mean? So, but when you're using skills, and that's why he says, I'm bigger, I'm stronger than you. How did you beat me? And that's how he had a meltdown against Usyk. Andrew Ruiz, a good, well-accomplished amateur fighter who had well over 100 fights. I know his body doesn't look like it, but he's, he knows how to box and put these shots together. So when you're a boxer, you can cause Anthony Joshua problems. And a southpaw, he's lost 2 times in his last, his last 2 losses was to a southpaw. So this is going to be a problem. But I do think Anthony Joshua is going to be more aggressive than we're used to seeing, because he's going to have to be. He's going to have to be bullish and just kind of tap into that psyche of, I've beat you twice now, which was once in the Harry Gay Box Cup and another time. And you just got to stick it on him. All this standing outside, he will end up getting outboxed, kind of like Helenius was outboxing him, bloodied his nose up and stuff like that. So you just got to get on him and start using, as my good friend, the Master Genius says, use roadman science upon him. So yeah. So yeah, that's what he's got to do basically. And I think he will get a point victory.
That's what I think.
Wallin has shown he's got a very good chin and boxing skills, so he knows how to move, and he's got a very good chin. I've never seen him wobbled. He even beat Kamil Sokolowski when Sokolowski just come off of being bumped against
David Adley. Sounds like it.
Exactly. So yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. So yeah, it'll be some tricky moments in there, but I see AJ coming through on a points victory, but it could be a bit close.
So do you think keys to victory are the more meaningful shots? Because I can see Wallin throwing punches in bunches, which is something we don't see with AJ. Like he's physically, well, his style is not really made for that, is it? To be like tip-tapping away and then set shots up. Do you think it's a strong jab, foot on the outside and looking to land that backhand, which they say with most southpaws is the key?
Yeah. So that's what he has to do.
But in moments where it looks meaningful, it's like just make it count in moments, sort of thing. Yeah.
Step to his right, but use aggression. He's got to be pushing Wallin back on the back foot. Don't let him pivot off to the side, or you two have a stand in the middle of the ring, exchanging jabs and trying to measure each other up, because he's gonna come off second best. Unfortunately, he's got to be pushing him back. He's got to be putting combinations together, landing meaningful shots. 1-2s, hooks. He's just got to get aggressive and just bully him up and rough him up in there. Obviously, he's not a naturally person who's going to rough up people like that, but you just got to use your physicality over it.
Even if you just dash man off or just corner the ring off and just make it a bit more. Do you know what I mean? So if you're getting in tighter, and if you're closing the ring off, then more like, even if the shots aren't landing, you hitting his arm and you letting him know, look, you don't want to be in the way of me, sort of thing. I get that. It's got to be that kind of performance. That's what we thought we were going to see against Helenius eventually. But I think, to credit to Helenius, he's a lot better than what I knew. He was better than what people say, because I watched the Kalinaki fight, so I know what Helenius is about. But obviously, the average fan was like, "What's going on here, man? Like, not this big Finland guy." I would say, yeah.
Yeah, but also that even though this was short notice, but that was really short notice. He only had 5 days to prepare for that. He was fighting someone who's 6'4", and then the next minute he's fighting a man who's 6'8". So that's a big difference, fighting a man who's 2 inches shorter than you to fighting a man who's 2 inches taller than you. So that would have messed with his tactics as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's also rumors of I seen come out yesterday saying there's a 2-fight deal about to be signed this week with Wilder and Joshua. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that, but then they asked, Dev asked, what's his name, Eddie Hearn about that, and Eddie Hearn said, no, that's not true. They can't sign anything until these fights are out of the way because anything can happen. Do you know what I mean? One of them could get beat.
Well,
So
this was my question. I was going to say, do you feel like it's going to happen anyway? And then the other thing I was going to say to you was, what do you think Joshua's mindset is going into this? Do you think he's like, I'm like, because he's kind of in that notion of like F everybody right now. That's kind of the energy I'm getting off him. Do you know what I mean? And in a way, I don't blame him because he's kind of like the face of box. He has been the face of boxing for a while, and he's had to take all of the brunt of everything. And I feel like sometimes people from the outside don't understand what's on the inside. And within like UK culture, I'm not saying me or you, but I'm saying a lot of people, they judge people without actually realizing the position that they're in and who they are as a human being outside of the ring. Do you know what I mean? He gets a lot of stick. It comes with the nature of where he's at. But do you feel like his mindset going into this is F everybody, I'm going to show you what I'm about? Or do you feel like it's like, I'll go into it, let's see how it goes, but I'll have a wilder fight anyway further down the line? Or what do you think like with Joshua?
yeah, well, none of them can afford to lose because if Parker wins, then he's going to get a rematch with AJ, or it's winner stays on. It seems what the Saudis are on, so they both have to win. Otherwise, it loses the whole appeal,
It
doesn't
does
it?
lose the appeal, yeah.
But with AJ, I think he's really focused. I can see he's very moody now, and I think while he's dialed in, it's because remember last time he was too focused on the Wilder talks. He ended up getting stopped out in New York. Remember, the whole point of him going out to America to fight Jerome Miller initially was to, get his American showcasing out, to advertise himself to the American public before fighting Wilder. And obviously, he ended up fighting Andy
Yeah,
Ruiz.
it didn't go to plan, did it? So the plan got messed up.
And he never went back since. So he has to. He knows this time. Well, I know what happened last time. I looked past the guy. And Otto Wallen, he feels that AJ is not the same guy he was back in the day. So he sees a guy who's motivated and he's coming to win. Everyone on the card is coming to. There's no journeyman on this card, so everyone's coming to win. Essentially,
well, Danny, that's the thing there. Just sorry to interrupt you. That's the thing. You know that if you're going to make a hell of a lot of money staying on, winner stays on, you're going to make big dough, man. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. You're incentivized. No one's thinking, oh yeah. It's just the checks that are being cut. People are hungry for more of that. Do you know what I mean? The hunger for more, like Lloyd Banks says. So, yeah, you know what I mean. So, I think.
Oh, that was so subtle,
So AJ, he's dialed in. I can see he don't want none of these side questions about Wilder. Even Wilder was kind of saying, yeah, I'm not even he was doing that thing where he's like, yeah, but I just wish him the best, and blah blah blah. Like I can't take my eye off the ball, etc. Because both of them, they can't afford. If they want to get this signed, where they know them two against each other, they know this is some mega bread, so they have to just forget each other for now. After the fight, you can even get Wilder in the ring after AJ beats Wallin, and then they can do their little face to face. But until their hands get raised, this fight ain't on. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think AJ's dialed in, and he's not looking past Wallin.
Yeah, 100%. So, well, you've answered my question already. I was going to say, which one are you most looking forward to? Is it the Wilder or the Joshua fight? Scrap them two. It's Big Baby Miller and Daniel Dubois. So I agree, though. I agree because I'm very intrigued about how they're going to match up. We know that Miller likes to come forward and bully her, but Daniel's got good fundamentals, regardless of what we say about him. Like, you stick that long, like, hard jab in Miller's face for rounds, it might change his game plan. Do you know what I mean? And Daniel can bang as well. So that's going to be a very, very interesting fight. Miller has to bully him, really. He has to bully him and take the range out of him. So very much like you're saying with Parker. Interesting how you said in the Parker fight, how he's got to take the range out of him. That has been something that's been on my mind. Because if you fight mid-range, Wilder likes you right at the end of that punch to get the power. Do you know what I mean? So quite similar to someone like Richard Riakpo. If you were to step mid to short range of Richard, it might not. Do you know what I mean? He likes you at the end of his punches as well. So yeah, like Lawrence Okoli, exactly. I want to go through the card and I want to go through some of the other fights as well. Yeah. So Makhmudov Kabayel, I was going to ask you about that one. We've kind of break that down. People, Kabayel points, that could be the one there. That could make you Christmas right there. Opataya versus Elisoro. I put this down as the biggest mismatch on the card. And this isn't a disrespect to Elisoro. I've met him. I think he's a great guy, But I just feel like that to jump from what I would say is English level to fight an Opataya, I think it's too much. Obviously, he's got to take the fight. I mean, could be life-changing money. But what do you give Ellis any sort of chance? Like, I think Jai is just...
Well, you say that, biggest mismatch on the card and jumping from English level, WBO, European level to World Championship. But, Craig Richards, he jumped from beating Shakan Pitters for the British title all the way to the Fighter of the Year last year in Dimitri Bivol, and gave him the closest fight on the cards out of any opponent that Bivol's had. If you check through the box record, see the scorecards at the end, he done better than Canelo, he done better than Jean Pascal, he done better than Salamov, he done better than what's his name, Lenin Castillo, Joe Smith Jr. So all those guys. So at the end of the day, so you can't. Everyone was thinking Craig was going to get banged out. So don't think that Ellis Zorro is just in there and he's just going to get wiped out because Opataya looks so devastating against Jordan Thompson. Ellis Zorro, he's had enough notice. He's unbeaten. He's he's confident. And he has got a decent punch himself. He slumped Jose Burton vicious out in York Hall. Do you know what I mean? And he's got a couple of good knockouts, even though they was in the Ultimate Boxer sort of tournament.
I watched that live. He was good. He was good, man. He was good.
Yeah, he won that. So do you know what I mean? He has some pedigree at the end of the day. So when you're up against it and you've got no pressure, you can pull out the performance of your life, which I think he would actually do better than people were actually anticipating.
Okay.
I think the biggest mismatch on the card is Hrgovic versus Mark Demori. Mark Demori is a man who...
Yeah, you know what? I'll come back and say it's the second biggest thing because that one's just...
Yeah, he learned how to box off of YouTube, and you saw what David A did to him. David A just went like this, and he just like, oh, come on. He's getting smoked. But so yeah, I think Opataya will... I mean, Ellis Zorro will do a bit better than... and a lot of people are thinking, Ellis is from, local to me, even went to the same school as me, even though he was a lot younger. But I ain't going to lie, I do think he will get stopped. I think he will get stopped, but I think it will be late. Like, I think people are thinking he's going to get wiped out in 2-3 like Jordan.
To be fair, Danny, I didn't think that, to be fair. And every point you're making is valid in that. And it's not a disrespect to Ellis at all, because I feel like he will put up a good fight, and I feel like he's a good boxer. Just something with Jai is just like he's just such a handful to fight. Like his footwork and the way he moves in and the way he's so unpredictable is for me is all wrong. Is all wrong for Ellis. But you know what? A good point where you said about when a fighter's got everything and everything's against it, well, all the pressure's off him. He has the fight of his life, and we'll see what happens with that one. I just rate Jai Opataya so much. He surprised me in just so many ways, and I do feel like, I don't know, is he the king of the cruiserweights? I want to see him versus Riatpur. That's what I want to see.
He's the king of the cruiserweights. He's the lineal champion, a phrase that was coined by Tyson Fury. But still, yeah, he's the Ring Magazine champion. And I see him taking out Ellis late, probably about 8, 9, 10, about that. Yeah. Well, probably not even 10, but 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. But I think that Ellis will put up a good fight where you will say, do you know what? He is above English level.
Okay. But to be honest with you, I mean, he's not got anything to lose, has he? He goes back down and he can fight the likes of Vidal Riley. It looks like Isaac Chamberlain might vacate the British and go on to European or hold on to it. So there's loads of fights there, and you're not going to pass down an opportunity to fight Jai Opataya. Rhino's in the chat. Big up Leon and Danny, like the video, people. My brethren, Rhino MGTV. Yes, Rhino. And also, Rhino.
Oh, I've seen you.
Yeah, he's on the Mandem tour. Rhino, you're going to have to get Danny on one of your Sunday shows, man. We do that, all sorts of things like relationships. Last week we were talking about BBLs and stuff like that. It's crazy. But another thing. God. Yeah. It's good. I see you do the lives as well, Danny, with some controversial ones as well. Yeah, so yeah, man. Yeah. Next fight on the card, obviously, you spoke about already, Daniel Dubois versus Jerome Miller. Before that one, actually, let's do Dimitri Bivol versus Lyndon Arthur. What chance do you give Lyndon in this fight? Style-wise, I've been in the camp. I started my boxing journey with Pat Barrett up in Manchester, and I think that there's a lot to Lyndon's game that people don't see. He's a very, very good boxer. He's got one of the best jabs in the division, I believe.
I think in
Notice,
boxing.
yeah, I think in boxing, yeah, he one of the original coach up there, Brian Hughes, compared him to Bob Foster. He's got a Bob Foster style. For those of you who don't know, Bob Foster used to kind of do the whole like hide his chin behind his shoulder, and he used to throw like so many jabs and break his opponents down. Go watch Bob Foster. I think notice is a key thing for this. If Lyndon had a full camp, I think this will be a little bit. I just feel like Bivol's just, I don't know, like it's a good fight for Lyndon to show if he's progressed from the Anthony Yard fight, the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you give him a chance to win in this one? Like, I think it's another similar to Ellis where he's got skills to show. Do you think he'll give more of a fight? Do you think he'll do better, maybe possibly than your cousin, like Craig? How do you look at it?
Yeah. Well, notice is a key thing. The reason being because Bivol had a date scheduled for January against what's his name? Rod something, Hot Rod,
Oh, he was
basically.
supposed to fight in like Chicago or something, wasn't
Yeah, against Hot Rod, the guy who Beterbiev beat in 5 rounds. Whereas Lyndon, we saw in the first press conferences that he was limping. Do you know what I mean? He was limping on
he?
his.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was limping. So I don't know. He looked like he was injured. He seems okay now, but it's like how effective was your training so far? Was you just doing recovery sessions? Because I saw him wrapping up his legs in these ice things and stuff. So it looks like it's like a recovery thing. So going against the biggest challenge of your life against Dimitri Bivol, it's not really the right prep, and your legs is what's important because we know Dimitri Bivol is very good at the in and out Ryu Ken style footwork. So he's just like, so I have a feeling he's going to get stopped. I think they've put him there as because it's a showcase fight for Dimitri Bivol to set up the Beterbiev fight, and Bivol hasn't had a stoppage since the Trent Broadhurst stoppage.
Oh, really?
Knockout.
Okay, so it's been a while. Yeah,
that was like 2018. So we're pushing 6 years now. Do you know what I'm saying? So he needs a knockout on his resume, and I think Lyndon's going to be that guy to provide that, because as we saw in Lyndon's last fight, he got dropped by that Argentinian guy early. And then he got rocked badly. Yeah, he managed to come back from behind and land a good body shot. But yeah, I just think that Dimitri's going to stop him late on an accumulation type thing, because he's not a big puncher, Bivol, but I think the accumulation will kind of break down Arthur. But Lyndon,
he'll get him on the ropes and just get to work like he does, yeah. Because the thing is, as well, with Bivol, you try and throw back when he's on the ropes and he's already pivoted and gone, and then he's hitting you from another angle. What I always say to him? I say to the guys in our boxing gym and that, yeah. So I'm not a coach, but I love to study boxing. I'm like, it's funny, guys, how the guys that are always at the top of the game for a long period of time and consistently perform well have good fundamentals, and his fundamentals are just solid, aren't they? So
yeah, but Lyndon, I think he's got one of the best jabs in boxing. I'd say he's got the best jab in the light heavyweight division, to be fair.
Yeah,
and it's got good judge of distance, good judge of range and distance when it comes to his jab. His problem is, I don't think he's going to keep Bivol off, and the main reason for it is he's got power in his right hand, but he hardly ever uses it, ever. When he does use it, he hurts people, he drops people. They're tentative to come in on him, but because he's so sparingly with it, it's just it's a thing that Bivol's going to pick up. All right, I know the right hand's not coming. Once I figure out how to take this jab away or get past this jab, or I know, all right, I'll eat the jab, but then I'll start doing my own thing. Then it's always going to be kind of a downhill struggle for him, an uphill struggle for him. Sorry, should I say? So that's where I think it will. And then I think also, as I said before, I don't think his legs are going to be there. Also, there's talks where people say he doesn't really live the life to the best of a fighter. He seems relaxed, very almost Bob Marley relaxed, if you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So that could be an issue as well. So yeah,
it's peak because against someone like Bivol, you can't play boxing at all now. You can't. You got to be dedicated, because I think people underestimate with like Beterbiev, Bivol, Usyk, Lomachenko, people like in the UFC like Khabib and people like that, yeah, and a lot of Muslim fighters. These guys don't play. It doesn't even matter if they've not got a fight. They are working in mad altitudes. They are grafting. They just live a crazy, crazy life. But yeah, what if Lyndon's going to win? What are the keys to victory? Is it? I agree with that right hand though, Danny. Like it's got to be in play because he does hurt people. He might be worried about overcommitting and getting caught with a hook on the way out. I'm not sure. I don't know like what you think about that. But is it what are the keys to victory? Is it similar to the Yard fight where he's just got to pepper him with jabs and look for the openings, like throw Bivol off his game, off his balance?
I wouldn't say
It's hard
pepper
with
like
Bivol,
Yard.
man.
Yard's not the same style as Bivol. Bivol's a mover, whereas Yard was more on the seeking. Which in the second fight he did manage to seek and destroy, but Bivol doesn't do that. But he's just got to try and box with the boxer, kind of like what Craig did, really. But the difference was Craig was using two hands, so he has to use two hands at the end of the day. I don't know if he's got like his hand hurts sometimes still, but you know what? For this money, mate, break your hand and you'll be fine after. You'll get some nice surgery. You'll be fine, but you just got to go. You just got to go for it and use both your hands. Use your boxing skills to the best of your ability. You've got the jab to definitely cause problems. If you start using the backhand as well, then you're definitely, you can definitely be in the fight. That's what I think for Lyndon. So he just has to use that right hand more because jab wise, he probably has a better jab than Bivol. Like if you're talking about singular jab, he's got a better jab than Bivol, but then it's just the rest of the stuff. He needs to, his defense as well. Sometimes his defense is a bit lacking. He starts doing this like wind washing, where you got to really, you got to be sharp. He's got decent, as I said, good at controlling the distance. Footwork, not all that. Also he needs to wear some proper boots because I notice he wears trainers a lot in his fight. Looks a bit weird. Like you're not really getting support on your ankles.
You know what? As well, he seems like he switches off halfway through fights, which you can't afford to in the Bivol fight because that's when the TKO might come. Do you know what I mean? You get pinned and
yeah. And then if you've got a leg injury or something like that, you need good supportive footwear for your legs and your ankles and stuff. So yeah, and you got to be switched on the whole time. No, looking like you're medicated out because that's what happened to Errol Spence and you saw how he got destroyed by Terrence. So yeah, you just got to be switched on, man.
Yeah, we're in a different league right now. You fight maybe like a British level or European level. You might be able to afford 1 or 2 laps of concentration if you're a quality fighter. You might just get the job done. But these levels, and I think that when you look at certain divisions, I mean, like some of the fighters I know, like in the welterweight division, I always talk about this. Like we've got, as you all know, in our gym, we've got Harry Scarf. You've got people like who are the welterweights like Congo and Esserman and McKinson, blah, blah, blah. But the jump to Crawford and to Spence is just massive. And it's the same in the like heavyweight division. Like if you're going to fight domestically and then you're going to jump up to fight Bivol or Beterbiev, it's massive, the gap between like domestic and world. So you've got to really be on your A game, man. Dubois Miller, let's delve into it a bit more. Tactically wise, what do you think, like, who do you think is going to win?
I think Miller's going to win.
I think Miller's going to win, okay.
Yeah, even though he's the betting underdog in the bookies, so that's all right. But I think the mentality.
What you think the heart? I think it's down to the heart, really.
It's mental, not even necessarily. Yeah, it's the heart, but I think it's the mentality is more in the mind. It's not even necessarily the heart. I think it's the mind. Miller's mind. I think Miller's mind is stronger than his heart. I think if someone really sticks it on him and he's getting battered, I think he's a man who probably has heart and pride, but he's not like willing to go to the death or whatever. But I think that his mind, he's very strong-minded and he's very confident mentally, whereas Dubois has shown mental weakness. Whereas the juggernaut Joe Joyce jabbed him, he took a knee. Usyk, I was out in Poland, jabbed him, he took a knee. Kevin Lorena, the cruiserweight, hit him, he took a knee. He got up from that one and managed to come back, but he went on the floor 3 times from a cruiserweight. Do you know what I mean? You've got a man coming in now, 320 plus pounds. This brother is not a joke. This brother is on road smoke. Like you can see, he's gonna walk you down.
He doesn't take a back foot. It doesn't take a back step as well.
He's gonna run you down. He's gonna move to you. Like when the brother's looking to move to you, that's what Jarrell Miller's on. He's on moving to you. When you see him fighting these guys, he's on moving to guys. And I think once the pressure is on Daniel, after a while, he will mentally break down and he'll look for the fire exit door again, unfortunately. That's what I think will happen with him. He's just mentally not strong enough or mentally prepared in life. You can tell he's an awkward guy who hasn't really got much life experience. You know, I know he's just got he's got his first piece of, you know, Nani. So, you know, win weak and legs. Yeah. Win weak and legs. He's got his first piece of Nani. So, you know, he's not experienced in life. So it's all new to him. You know, because he was very sheltered as a child. His dad used to, you know, take him everywhere, right on his shoulder, like just gym home, no life, no social life. So he hasn't been able to build up character. Do you know what I mean? And get into sticky situations where Jarrell Miller, you can see he's a man who's lived the life. You know what I mean? You can tell he's a man who knows the blocks. And I think that mental pressure, what he's going to put on Daniel, is going to break him ultimately.
Yeah, and I think Miller's not playing no games. He's got his second chance now, and I think he's not playing no games. He knows for a fact, even just by winning, he's hungry to make bread. He's hungry to make a name for himself and make bread. So I feel like when this Daniel fight, he's licking his lips at this chance, because even if he doesn't get the Wilder or the Joshua fight, which I don't think he'll get, there's so many fights for him out there. There's so many fights. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great you touched on that, because you got to remember he served in total probably like 4 years ban, because he got busted on twice. He got busted for another fight after the Joshua ban. He got another ban. That's the one where he got caught with the where he said he had the erectile dysfunction. So he got caught. And the other time, the AJ one was just proper like Iron Man gym roids. This one was like some next one. So he's seeing this as like, wow, I've got a chance again. Like 4 years unemployed, I highly doubt he'd be going down the dole office. So God knows what he was doing to make ends meet. Do you know what I mean? So he's thinking, oh my God, I'm back in the big time here, and I don't deserve to be. Everyone was talking about I should be banned for life. I've served like 4 years ban, and I'm here. Like if I beat Daniel Dubois, that's a man who's just, you know, dropped.
I'm in the top 10.
Yeah, I'm in the top 10. Yeah. He's dropped Usyk. He could have been world champ. I've talked enough smack to AJ that even if, all right, fair enough, they know they're looking to sign the Wilder AJ fight, but say he you know, Jarrell Miller predicts that Wilder's going to beat him, but then he can get AJ after Wilder. Do you know what I mean? Or get the winner of AJ Wilder, because he's talked so much. Everyone wants to see him. They want to see the big mouth get his mouth shut. And they believe, everyone probably believes that AJ and Wilder can both do him. So he's definitely going to get the winner or the loser of AJ Wilder. So he's going to make, you know, life-changing money, which he should probably by right shouldn't have been doing, because he should have, in most circumstances, with their stuff he's been popped with, the amount of times. I think he's been busted 3 times in total, because he got busted years ago back in his MMA days as well. Like when he fought like Crocop back and them days there. So yeah, he's just seen this as like, wow, God really loves me. So yeah, he's coming to lay him out.
Yeah, and I think with him, one thing I'll give him is people go, he's annoying, he's this, he's that, he just chats rare. He knows how to market himself. And I think another thing that I've noticed is he knows how to appeal to the audience in Dubai, Saudi, and that region. You know, he knows the Middle East, he knows how to appeal, because he was on a card with, shout out my friend Naman, Goat Management. He manages a guy called Jamal Daoud, who's like the Algerian main Algerian boxer right now. And I remember he sent me a couple of photos, like Jamal's with Roy Jones and that kind of thing. And he's got another kid called Falcon, I think his name is. He's with DAZN and that, another good kid as well. And a Filipino.
Oh, the Brazilian.
Yes. He's got a few fighters on Goat Management. He's good, actually. Do you know what? I'll have to bring him down to your pod, because he's a good person to speak to. Probably bring the Algerian with him, innit? Big audience. Yeah. And he goes, oh, I'm here with Miller. And he goes, he's maneuvered himself onto this Dubai card. And I think it was probably unlicensed. Actually, I don't know what it was, you know. I don't know if it was a pro boxing card, but he could have got. Danny, you know more about this. Would he have got a license in Dubai? Jarrell Miller was fighting on that card.
No, it was a pro fight. It was a pro fight. That's where
you get your license away from Nevada and you go get it in Dubai, sort of thing, and then you fight.
Yeah, it was a pro fight. He fought Lucas Brown on it.
Oh, yes, he did. Yeah, I think he was main event. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a proper fight.
So, yes, I think with Miller, he knows how to market himself. And one of the things is, whether you love him or hate him, he's entertainment. He's entertainment. Do you know what I mean? And one thing I'll give him credit for as well, yeah, is he knows how to act in that region. From what I've seen, he's not disrespectful. He's disrespectful to the fighters, and he calls them out, like he's saying he smells pussy on AJ and all this sort of thing. Yeah, but I can tell out there he's carrying himself in a way where the Saudis are warming to him, and he's opening up more doors for himself. Definitely, I can see that.
Yeah, and also he announced that he's a Muslim as well. You know, he came in the Muslim mob, so yeah, he's appealing, you know, to His Excellency. And you know, he does the comical thing, like even did the little 2-3 minute video where he goes, "Yeah, let me take you on my little lunch thing." So he's gone into the buffet. Yeah, I need my meat. I don't no carbs. So, yeah, here's the shrimp. Here's Daniel Dubois. So even little skits like that. Now these are the type of things you even tell me, like do little skits and stuff like that. So he knows exactly what he's doing. He's very good He's very good at marketing. Do you know what I mean? That's a little comical thing. That's like it gets people on board. It's humorous, isn't it? It's like it's harmless humor. Even today, you know, he was having a laugh and stuff with Eddie Hearn. He was like, "Yeah, I'll get."
Because he knows. I get seen with Eddie Hearn, it's views. He knows. Like when he had the conversation with him on stage, and he said, like, apparently he said, "Oh, if you come to New York, I'll have people waiting for you in rare area." He knows that Eddie's going to be asked about that, and he's planned. See, he knows what he's doing. Carry on, Donny.
Yeah, so he goes, "Yeah, I'll take your toupee off Eddie." He goes, "We should have an exhibition match." And then even Dev Sardi was like, "It's like I think Dev was scared or something," and he was like, "Don't worry, anyone troubles you, I've got your back, Dev. Don't worry, I got your back." So you know what I mean. He's very good. Yeah, you know, he's good stuff. He's good for TV and promotion, and he sells the fight. If you just had probably Wilder, Parker, they ain't really saying nothing much. Wallin, Joshua. Had Miller not stepped up that first presser, everyone was just.
It was boring. I was bored, and then Miller started thinking. I was literally sat in the chair like this, and then he spoke, and I was like, "All right, cool, let's get into it." Do you know what I mean? So, yeah,
it was all pleasantries. Everyone, "Oh, thank you, Excellency. I'm happy to be on the card," and "Oh yeah, I've got nothing to say about my opponent. You know, it's just going to be a good fight." Everyone's just doing that. But Jerome, like, "Nah, man, this is nah." So he sold the show, and you've got to remember they've got to sell this show. The reason why is because this pay-per-view is being split across 2 channels over it. It's not like DAZN's getting all the money or Queensbury's getting all the money. It's on DAZN pay-per-view and on TNT Sports pay-per-view. So they've got to sell a lot. You know, now we're going to see where everyone's allegiance is to buyers wise, because some people's going to pay for the TNT Frank Warren one. Some people's going to give their money to DAZN because so it's going to be split. So they've got to sell this really heavy.
Yeah, 100, man, and I think it's good to have. Regardless of what's happened, it's good to have characters like Miller in boxing, man. It's good to see. And do you know what it is for me, Danny? I look at like him from a strategic business move, and I think he's clever. I got to give it to him. He's clever. Do you know what I mean? He's planting the seeds. He knows by speaking to AJ and speaking to Eddie Hearn, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's running up views. He's running up his own platform. Like even the way he's approaching him in the lobby and that, he's like, "Guys, don't worry, I'm not going to kick off or anything. I just want to say, AJ, you know what I smell?" Like he's funny because I think with AJ, it's just so funny. You know, you can tell he's from the hood. You can tell he's from the hood, like the way he's.
No, but even there was a thing where AJ. I saw another clip where AJ was talking to someone, and he's gone behind him, and he's gone, "I knew I smelled pussy somewhere."
Yeah, I seen that. He walks around about
This guy is the man, you know. Even though when he's run up to Dubois, like on the thing as well, Don Charles is like trying to stop it because he doesn't want another. Derek Chisora, David Hay moment in Germany, but Joe's like, no. I'm just saying, like, so he knows what he's doing. And at the end of the day, you know, people say, "Oh, we shouldn't be given another chance," and But these are the same people who will be saying, when your boy commits an M charge or robbery, free my man, freedom is a must. You know what I mean? Everyone deserves a second chance. You know, can't keep a good man down. So hey, free Miller, he's free now. You know, and he's getting another chance at life, and he's doing things legitly. Do you know what I mean? So good on him.
Yeah, exactly, man. I feel like Miller's just, the guy's comedy in it, because you know what it is. He's got that big energy where, you know, from what I can see, obviously I don't know too much about like his hood life and where he's come from and where. I know a little piece, but I don't know enough to start talking deeply on it and stuff. Yeah, he's got that energy where he stands there. Even if you look at the body language of Dubois, where he's like, "I can wind you up." He's not moving. He's just stood still. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas Dubois is kind of doing the whole pointing and walking around, and Rera, which is kind of like that nervousy, "I'll run banter with you, but if you stick it on me, I'm going to bop off." Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
even
the bar bopped off. Did he go?
yeah, he's got that like I'm gonna bop off like if I need to, innit? Like, and even with AJ, he stands right there with AJ, and he's like, guys, don't worry, I ain't gonna do anything. I'm just gonna let him know. I'm just gonna G check him right now. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that AJ is bummy of him. I'm just saying that that's his energy that he carries, the aura. Do you know what I'm saying?
AJ is concerned about him because even when he ran up on AJ, the first thing AJ did is went into defense mode. He goes, "Well, I don't know what you're talking," because he's doing a thing where, if he tries to shoot through the middle, I've got some kind of defense. So he's doing that whole thing. That's a defensive thing where your shoulders are up and you're talking to a man like that. You're in a defensive stance, whereas Miller's just like there, like, yeah, what? Even like when you talk it, because AJ remembers the first.
Sorry, do you know why I'm about to start laughing? Because the way he does the shades thing as well, where he gets close to you and then takes the shades off and just takes that extra step in, yeah.
What he does, he takes the shades
off.
Let
me look at this pussy, yeah.
No, he takes the shades off, puts them behind his back and hands them to somebody all the time. Someone's there to take the shades, and he's just looking like Attila from that film A.
And then he gets that bit closer, he's like, do you know what I mean? He just gets that little extra step in, do you know what I mean? Or his head comes up like, do you know what I mean?
Have any of you seen that film A-Wall with Attila versus Jean-Claude Van Damme in the last end scene? Like, that's who Jerome Miller reminds me of when he takes off the shades.
And after this, I'll have a look at that. It's funny.
Yeah. But even when he took off the shades against Daniel Dubois tried to do some belly bump thing, didn't move him at all. And then he started trying to tiptoe, and it was like, it's not working. And he's like, because Jerome Miller done some like New York mean mug, and then Daniel Dubois has gone. And it just looked all weird. Like, I'll have to send you the clip where it just looked nuts. It just looked nuts. But he's in his head big time. I remember AJ remembers when they got close the first time, Miller just went boom. That push sent him. So AJ's like, whoa,
that pissed him off. Really pissed him off.
Yeah, that wound him up. Because that sent him.
It's mad how. I mean, as a fighter, like you've been a fighter, I haven't been a fighter. I know various fighters, but you've actually been a fighter. You've had you said you've had over what 40 amateur fights?
Yeah, 45.
Yeah, so you were there, like you could have turned pro in that, and do you know what I mean? And hopefully Danny will put some clips up of his fighting because he had the, do you know what I mean, shimmy and yeah, Danny was a good fighter, man. Danny was a solid fighter, man. Yeah, but like, do you feel like AJ should be letting him live in his head rent free? Because it just seems like it's light work to him. He just shows up and he's like, right, guys, it's like he's sat there in the lobby like this, sat there, he's having a cup of tea, and he goes, oh, is that AJ? I'm just gonna go mess with him right now. Do you know what I mean? He just knows he can just do it. Or do you feel like as a fighter, it's like, no, bro, when like if you piss me off, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you think AJ's letting him get in his head too much?
AJ can't stop it because AJ, for all. People talk about AJ's past. He got in trouble for the drug stuff or whatever, like selling the weed. But you have to remember, he's not from a big city. He's from Watford. He's from outskirts. Yeah. He's not a Londoner. He's not from Birmingham. He's not from Manchester. It's a different mentality when you're from like the inner city. That's what people say, inner city. Like he's not from an inner city. He's from Watford. So. He knows a bit ones or twos, going down to Finchley ABCs, but he isn't built like, say, inner city man like Miller, who's able to get into, because they're mind games, which Young Spray likes to talk about a lot, but they're mind games is the thing that Miller, it's just natural to him. He can just, it's on time. All right, let me just get to him. Let me just get, like, it's effortless. You can see it's effortless. To him, it's not even serious. He just knows that he's doing it. He knows how to get in these guys' heads, and they don't know how to deal with it. None of them, like, I can imagine if him and Dillian White was to fight, the press conferences, Dillian White will be getting, like, wound up so vicious. They can probably turn into a real fight because Dillian ain't really got time for each.
Yeah, he's definitely going to try and G-check Dillian. He's going to instantly just be like, I'm the dog, isn't it?
Yeah, and Dillian's just going to think, you know what, I can't verbally deal with his brother, so let's just fight now. Let's just fight right now. So, but he's always going to have that mental thing where he can wind people up to a state of they're either going to
Not going to lie, Danny, yeah? I'd love to see that fight. That would be a good fight.
I would too. They're either going to crumble or they're just going to want to fight like what's his name? Like when Chisora and Dillian was arguing, it just turned into a fight in the middle of the studio because it's one of them ones. He's going to get a reaction out of you one way or the other, but that's what he's looking for.
Yeah, 100. Big up King Singh, who says, bro, I know exactly what Sue you're on about in AWOL, so shouts out, man. Do you know what I mean?
Come on. No mercy.
I need to see this. But yeah, no, let's wrap up with some. Let's just make sure that everyone's clear on your predictions and stuff. So we'll go through the fights one by one, and you just say like what you think, whether it's a point, whether you think it's a decision. Sorry, points, knockout, wherever you see it's going. So Makhmudov and Caballero, you've gone with Caballero points.
Caballero on points, yeah.
Cool. Opataya Zorro, late stoppage, I think you said.
Yeah, late stoppage for Opataya. Mid to late stoppage.
Okay.
Mid to late.
I do agree with what you're saying with Ellis. I think we're going to see the best Ellis Zorro in this fight, and I feel like that could rise his stock anyway. Because a lot of these guys, if you have a good performance, it can raise your stock. Dimitri Bivol versus Lyndon Arthur.
Bivol stoppage.
Okay. What do you think? Another late one like the Zorro?
I don't know when. I just think it's going to be a stoppage on an accumulation type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from with that one, because with the yard fight, the second one, I never thought it would be that early. If it was going to be early, I just didn't think it was going to be that early, and it happened. So it's you got to stay switched on. And when you watch back the highlights and stuff, like, well, when I watched the back live and stuff, it's like a 22 punch combination. So it's like that's your coach's nightmare to just be there smiling on the ropes, like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? So
even when the way he finished the Joe Smith Jr. fight in the 12th round, where he just landed about 30 punches unanswered, and luckily the bell went. Do you know what I mean? And that's how he finished off Sullivan Barrera in the 12th round as well. Barrera punches by wearing him out as well. So yeah, Bivol stoppage by accumulation of shots.
Cool. Dubois Miller.
I've got Miller on, Miller by TKO.
Okay, cool. Late one. That must got a late one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Miller by and also I got Frank Sanchez.
What do you mean he's going to wear him down? He's going to wear him down.
Yeah, he's going to wear him down, and I think he's going to wear him down.
We forgot the Frank Sanchez fight. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, Frank Sanchez. I think he's going to stop Junior Farr, but I don't think that's going to be. It could be a bit of an ungainly affair, because they're both counter punchers. Do you know what I mean? They're both counter punchers. So if they're both negative, then it could be one of them ones, isn't it? But I see Frank catching him, because Frank is becoming more aggressive now, because he knows using them Cuban skills, you can't be too negative. You've got to, especially out here, you want to get yourself into the big time. You've got to get more aggressive. And plus, he's seen, what's his name? Lucas Brown wipe out Junior Farr in one round.
He's got to take
Junior
confidence
Farr, yeah, but the Junior Farr, do you remember him and Joseph Parker? I remember I woke up at like
I watched it in the morning.
In the morning. Oh my God, I was like, did I really get out of bed for this?
It was awful. It was really bad. It was poor.
Oh, terrible. So so that was like, so it's one of them ones. I think that will probably be the most least exciting fight, but I think I'm gonna go with Frank to take him out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we doing a Hrgovic Domori prediction, or is it worth?
Yeah, just put it on just do the whole card, innit? But yeah, Hrgovic is gonna wipe him out.
First three. It could be quick.
Yeah.
Hrgovic starts quite quick, Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. First 3 or 4. First 4. Yeah, inside 4.
Big up Domori getting the bag anyway, because that's about all you're getting in my eyes.
He's got 2 bags so far. That's David Hay and Saudi.
And at his age as well, he's done well to get that. Wilder Parker.
Wilder. Yeah, Wilder knockout. Yeah, Wilder knockout in, I think, inside 6 rounds.
Okay. I was going to say 6 to 8. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like Parker's not going to be able to avoid the right the whole. I've seen improvements, and I feel like him and Andy Lee was a good link up, but I've not seen enough to where when he gets pushed back, he's going to avoid that right hand for a whole 36 minutes. I just can't see. I don't know. I just can't see it. And the final one, obviously, Joshua Wallen.
Yeah. AJ on points.
That's interesting. I just want to ask you one more question on that. Do you think it's the more meaningful shots will get him the points victory? Because a lot of people would just say Wallen points, AJ knockout.
No, I think it will be the aggression, the active aggression, not necessarily the more meaningful shots, but I think it will be the more, what do you call it?
I know what you
Being
mean.
more on the front foot. Do you know what I mean? The more aggressive guy on the front foot who's got more ring generalship. Do you know what I'm saying? So dominating, pushing him back, letting off shots and stuff like that. Whereas the times when they're in the middle and nothing's really happening, then Wallin will have his success there. But as soon as AJ starts pushing forward and letting shots go, that's when he will be, catching the eye of the judges and landing some solid shots. Whereas, he's got to be aggressive. He's got to be aggressive.
Yeah, that's calm. Well, listen, Danny, absolute pleasure having you on, man. And you know what I mean? We have to do this more often, man. We do it on yours and mine, innit? So it's just little boxing chop-ups and that, little chilled ones. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's kind of like an iconic day, man. You don't see cards like this. So I'm interested to see who performs, if we can look at it afterwards and see what matchups can be made. And you know what? I did think the Wilder Parker was going to be the most exciting fight, but you've swayed me, man. I'm excited about this Miller Dubois thing. I think Miller stole the show, man. Miller's definitely stole the show. But before you get out of here,
before I get out of here, I just want to tell everyone else as well, just so they don't think that after the 23rd that it's all done till next year. Make sure you tune in on the 26th on Boxing Day in the morning from 8 a.m. There is another undisputed contest in the super bantamweight division. Naoya Inoue versus Marlon Tapales. Both of them have 2 belts each. This is for the undisputed super bantamweight title out in Japan. So be sure to get your Boxing Day special. So there's some more fight. That's another fight to look forward to. So be sure to check that out as well.
What time can people expect that on UK? You said it's morning, right?
The show starts at 8 a.m. and I think that Inoue will be fighting about 10:30 a.m.
You don't want to miss Inoue, man. Too exciting.
Yeah, so at least put it on from 10. I think it will be able to be 11 a.m. ring walk, but put the show on if you don't want to wake up that early. I'll be up from 7. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to be doing a live watch along, so you can check that out. I'll be putting that on for about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah, that's calm. What I'm going to do, people, is I'm going to put in the title of this video, I'm going to put this Day of Reckoning Riyadh season full card breakdown at Fight Fan TV. So you can just hit that blue link and go straight across to Danny's channel and make sure you subscribe, yeah? And the podcasts are really, really good. Even if you're not massively into boxing, because I know there's a lot of United people that will like follow my channel and stuff, yeah? The kind of, the banter and the getting to know people's life stories is all within that. Do you know what I mean? It's really, really, really good, solid, valuable content. So make sure you check that out. But Danny, it's been a blessing. I'm looking forward to the card. I might be live tomorrow as well, so I'm going to give you a shout as well because I'm going to have different people on different things. So you're always welcome whenever, bro. Do you know what I mean? I have to put it as a mod on my channel as well, man. But listen, subscribe to Fight Fan TV and we're out, people. We're out.